Hi everyone and welcome to the video about my January works. January was very relaxing and also it was a month of series. In these three books I colored several pictures in each and also January was a month of bears. I colored three white bears and one brown. Let's start from Sagar of Sagner. It was my first picture this year. I always wanted to color him, but for me he looked a little bit lonely. But now I found my courage and I add some background behind of the bear, and now I think that she's simply peacefully sleeping. Maybe he's waiting for the beginning of some exciting trip or something like this. Anyway, I'm happy that I added this background. All the mountains, hills, small villages, some kind of lake or maybe it's frozen river. I tried to color everything in cold colors, cold blue, cold gray, cold greens, and I added a lot of snow. While I was coloring it, I was listening to the beautiful song of Zaz. I will leave you a link in the info box and I highly recommend it. I love Zaz, I love all her songs, but this one, Lapani, is probably the best for me. I also happy that I selected this violet color for the sweater. It immediately attract attention to the central part of the picture, to the bear. I am less happy how I colored white fur, and probably the least fortunate creature on this picture is poor bird. I wanted to convert it into cardinal bird. I colored it with red, but in the end I don't like how it looks at all. Poor creature. I realized that in this book there are so many winter pictures or pictures which can be converted into winter ones that I can color in this book only the whole 3 months of the winter. As my next project I selected this snow princess. It was very easy coloring. From the beginning I knew that she will be with black hair, that I want to do blue-violet background with light touches of blue and lavender colors to add some softness and romantic touch. Here was my second white bear, and here I am much more happier how the white fur looks. Probably the most challenging task was how to color all animals which are on the forefront and not to lose them on the motley background of her coat and dress. It was quite interesting to color all those cute little animals, and I am very happy with the final look. I was a little bit afraid to draw snowflakes, but in the end I think the background looks not very bad. At least they added some interesting final touches to the background. I'm very happy that in this book I don't need to do any complicated shading on faces. Everything is very sweet, maybe a little bit cartoonish, but in the same time all pictures are very easy to color. And I really love to work on this paper with my Prismacolors. They are my first choice in this book. Next picture also was for a long time in my wish list to do during the winter season. I decided to do it in my traditional style, to do plain colorful background using acrylic paints. I already colored a lot of pictures in this book with such plain background and I love the style for this book. I love how green leaves look on the dark olive background, but my favorite part was to do highlights from the lantern on the body, on the face and on the clothes of gnome and on the body of the fox. I tried to make Fox really furry for the gnome to be comfortable to lay on her, and I enjoyed coloring the rest of the botanical elements, especially yellow berries. I am happy that I decided to do contrast between cold colors on the leaves around berries and warmer olive green colors of the rest of the leaves. Anyway, again, it was very easy coloring also. Any problems and any doubts at all. But it wasn't finish of my series of projects from this book. Next, I realized that for a long time, for several months, I color almost completely with regular pencils and I hadn't played with my other mediums for a long time. So I published a video how to color one page with 10 different mediums, but I think that maybe in the end I used even more than 10 of mediums. I used here watercolors for the background, graffitins for her hair and face. I used Derwent drawings pencils with their natural colors. I used acrylic paint for the water, and of course I used Prismacolors for the central part. My main idea was this contrast between cold colors of the storm lady and warm colors of the wooden village and of the lighthouse. It's strange, but this picture never was inspiring for me, and now it's one of my favorite finished pictures. And I really appreciate all your advice and comments which you left me when I asked you how to proceed coloring this page. It was really very helpful. When I got fairy tale coloring book, I was sure that during winter season my first finished picture will be from Snow Queen. But being very logical girl, I started from completely other project and it was East of the Sun and West of the Moon. I've never heard about this fairy tale, so it was quite interesting to read this Norwegian story. For this picture, I decided to proceed using my new Arteza set of pencils, so the whole background is colored with Arteza. I added a little bit of pastel blue colors from Prismacolors to the snow, and girl and bear also are colored with Prismas. I am not very confident with Arteza yet to be able to color full. And it's my third white bear. And it again was quite interesting to color bear from another artist in other artist manner of drawing. Very interesting to compare all my white bears. Here I am quite happy with the northern lights, and even on such thin paper as we have in this book, artists were able to cover sky, so not bad for these pencils. I am glad with my dark violet mountains. I think that they added some interesting touch, and I also very grateful to this picture that it helped me to find many new inspiring illustrators during the coloring process. And as my next project, I selected Beauty and the Beast. Probably I simply wanted that the first page of this one of my favorite coloring books looks completed and looks finished. Here I didn't have problems with background choice and color choices for the beast. I selected from the beginning this bright blue color to attract more attention to the beast, but then I started to have problems with dress. I planned to give her bright yellow dress, but then I realized that in the movie and on cartoon Belle also has yellow dress and I didn't want to copy. So this bright red was my second best choice. And now when I look at finished project, I think maybe it's not bad. I tried to show all highlights from the candles on the walls on the dress, on the architectural elements, and I decided to color rose in golden colors. Anyway, I'm quite happy how I managed to finish this project, but in the end I was a little bit tired of coloring on this thin paper. I love pictures in fairy tales, but sometimes I don't like paper in it. My next favorite book of winter was book by Teresa Goodrich. I started from this train. It's fun that until I finished to color this picture, I hadn't realized that we have the same picture on the cover of the book and I could look at it and to have some inspiration. Anyway, here I am almost happy with all areas apart from the sky. I struggled a little bit with selecting color for the sky to divide sky from the hills, and paper didn't behave very well. My favorite part is the building with its very warm colors. I deliberately wanted this contrast between warm colors of the wall and cold colors of the surrounding snow. I enjoyed coloring train. I love all Teresa Goodrich pictures here, so it was a very nice project. I tried to do realistic steam from the train, and probably my least favorite part is those big snowflakes, which I tried to mask. Next picture I decided to color in Thomas Kinkade style. You know that I love Kinkade. I already made video about his works, especially his winter paintings. So on this picture of skating rink, I decided to copy his favorite pastel colors. So my sky is pastel yellow, pastel pink, pastel lavender, and Prismacolor set is very helpful to select colors very similar to the colors of winter Kinkade paintings. I also did all those very bright yellow light reflections which we can find on Kinkade paintings. Sometimes I think that he exaggerates with all those yellow reflections, but I tried to copy his style. I also did all those light reflections on the clothes of skaters, and of course I used a lot of white paint to mask all black lines. I am very happy with this experience. I love how I colored in Kinkade style, how I was inspired by his pastel colors. Next, I realized that I wanted to play with my set of gouache paints. And this picture was perfect choice because gouache is very helpful if you want to mask something, and there were a lot of black lines on the snow, and black lines are the worst enemy of realistic snow. So in order to mask all black lines, I decided to color backgrounds with paints. But if you use medium not very often, you always struggle with it. So I worked with gouache first and then I added layers of pencils and of neocolors. Thank you for your advices how to correct the tree trunk which was growing from the head of the deer. I covered base of the tree trunk with white paint and now it's standing in the snow far from the deer, and I think that it's much better comparing with my first result. Anyway, I was quite happy to discover how well neocolors lay on top of the gouache paint. I definitely will be using this effect in my future paintings. The series in Winter Wonderland is finished, but the series of the bears isn't finished yet. This page from College Art also was a long guest in my to-do list of winter paintings, and finally I completed it. In this book I prefer to work with polychromases, and only for some pastel elements like snow I added a little bit of Prismacolors. I love that I decided to do several backgrounds in pastel blue colors and several backgrounds on two elements with dark blue colors. I think that in this way the whole picture looks less boring. I love bright elements here like cardinal birds and bright red berries. I like small or round element with village and church, and the most complicated part where I struggled a lot was the area with bears, with bear family. I decided that it was enough for me to do white bears, and I decided to color them with brown. But it was difficult, and in the end I'm at least happy that you can clearly see where are their heads and where are their paws. It was also difficult to decide what is exactly depicted on the background, and in the end I simply masked almost all with white paint. Also, in the end of the January, I decided to finish one of my December projects, which I abandoned for some time. I did background in the beginning of December, this strange green color, and then I put this book away. Now, before putting it away until the December of this year, I decided that I still want to finish this page. I had very clear idea what colors I want to use. I quickly finished it and now I can say, see you in the December Escape to Christmas Past book. My last finished project was from the Dream Dancers by L.Filonenko. Here I wanted to test my new set of black widow pencils set for the dark skin. I wanted to do yellowish skin tone and I was quite happy how pencils behaved on this very good paper. And I decided to finish this belly dancer also using mostly black widow pencils, so all turquoise, bright red and golden colors are also made with black widow pencils. Only for the background where I needed really soft and not bright colors, I used a little bit of Derwent drawing, warm gray and cool gray. After I masked all black lines on the background, this beautiful belly dancer really started to pop up on the page. And it was nice to color something apart from the blue winter pictures. I enjoyed doing some season coloring, but sometimes distraction is also very nice. I really enjoy my January coloring months. All colorings were very easy for me. I didn't struggle, and I think that for my relaxing way of coloring in January, I finished quite a lot of pictures, and I also have several started but not finished yet projects. I also switched to cross stitching for several days. That's my current project. I know that some of you love to see what I am working it. So it's my huge project which I promised as a gift, but I hadn't touched for a long time. It's a shame that with all my coloring projects I don't have enough time for my other hobbies. That's how the whole project will look in the end, and you can see that I already finished 5 bottles and 2 yet have to come. I hope that one day I will be able to finish it, but it's really big. I want to thank you for the January which you spent together with me. In January, I received a lot of supportive, very helpful comments, a lot of advice, and I am very grateful. I hope that in February I will be also coloring something interesting. I haven't decided yet what books I will be working in, but I think that I will manage to do something interesting. Maybe I will even color in one of my untouched books, And maybe I will proceed to do winter pictures because we have still 1 month of the winter. Anyway, I thank you for your attention and I hope to see you in my next videos.